So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Geometry Dash video, and it is July 1st. So I'm going to be starting Firewall by Hinds. I already have 4200 on this. So yeah, I have two connected runs on this. So hopefully I'll be able to beat this fairly quick, and I'm just going to go and practice and show you guys some tips and tricks. So beginning isn't too difficult, it's just a bunch of triple spikes. So one big tip I can give about these triple spikes is don't try to time them perfectly. Go like a tiny bit before actually reaching the triple spike. And that will just make it a lot more consistent. I mean, regardless, this is at the very beginning, so even if you die here, it shouldn't matter too much. So this ball part is a bit tricky. So what I recommend doing here is waiting a tiny bit after you land and then clicking it. Wait. There we go. That one you can kind of just spam. Well, not spam, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of like that. And this one you want to do buffer. Click 2 times immediately. Wait and then click those buffer. This one you want to click immediately. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Click immediately and then do like a consistent click pattern here. And then this is actually not that hard. So this is probably the hardest part of the pre-drop in my personal opinion. So you want to jump out of this 1 block gap, press this, wait a tiny second, then jump again, then jump out of this, then jump out of this again. So it takes a while to get down, however, it does get fairly consistent in my personal opinion. So here, a very interesting thing about this is you can just not jump and do that. However, I find it more consistent to jump, and then as you can see, if you jump out of that, you actually won't have to time this as much. You still can't buffer it even if you jump out of this, but you'll have to time this a lot like later. So this, as you can see, I did it pretty late there, and it still died. However, if I jump, as you can see, it becomes a lot easier to time it. So I recommend jumping there. But obviously, if you find it easier to not jump, then go ahead and just fall. This part you also want to jump. However, what I recommend doing is trying to jump this very late. If you jump too early, this is going to be ridiculously hard to time. So try to jump like really late on this one. So honestly, just practice this part a lot. Because it does get consistent. You just need to really practice it a lot and kind of get the feel for this as well. This part isn't that hard. Wait a tiny bit, wait a tiny bit. And then this one this first one you want to wait. Wait, no. Sorry, not that one. This one you want to wait. Jump immediately, jump immediately. Well, not jump immediately, but wait a tiny second, then jump immediately. Then there's a wave, no real tips here. Just a wave skill. So I recommend practicing this a lot as well. So this part is a tiny bit tricky. It's not that hard, however, I find this a tiny bit annoying. So I want to do something like this, I guess. So you want to fly into a portal, wait a tiny bit, then kind of straight fly. And then you want to hit the top of this part. And you want to make sure that it only hits it for a brief second. So you don't want to hold it down. So just whenever you hit this yellow orb, just click it a tiny bit hard. Kind of like this, I guess. And the same thing with this as well. You want to hit this platform here. So don't hold it. Just hit the platform and then let go. And that will give you a fairly consistent transition into this wave. And then this is kind of like wave consistency, I guess. Well, it's more like wave spam, I guess. That isn't too hard. 1, 2, 3, 4. This also isn't really difficult. Now this part, what I recommend doing is waiting tiny bit, then hold, wait, then hold. So hold, straight fly there, and then this part, I recommend dipping down a tiny bit. I don't know why, but for some reason, whenever I dip down a tiny bit or go a bit low here, I find it very consistent to go down on this portal for some reason. I don't know why. Down, down, down. And then this part, these portal parts, I recommend tapping once at every portal. 1, 2, 3, 4. So something like that. And this I recommend like actually trying straight fly. I know you can press like 2 or 3 times here. However, I find it more consistent to just press like a bunch of times. Buffer. This isn't too difficult. This I recommend learning the timing for this as well. This UFO you want to wait a tiny bit. Wait until like the bottom of the UFO hits kind of like here. And that should give you, and that should pass it. So if you do it too early, as you can see, you'll just die. So you want to hit it a tiny bit late. Or like in the middle, I guess. When the UFO is in the middle. Wait part isn't too difficult, however, I most likely will die there. It's I find the wait part, the transition is the hardest to get down. Hold. So for the wait, this wait part right here. So I recommend timing this part to the music. So as you see, down, down. So something like that. You can't actually see the top of it, so you do kind of have to time the music. This part is super easy actually. I'm gonna go down here into the hole. And then you want to wait a tiny bit, and then all of these you can buffer, and you can hold all of these. So that's very easy. This part is super easy. All you have to do is buffer, and then just hold it. And you also want to jump in that portal. 1, 2. Then you want to time this with the music a tiny bit. I find this very hard to kind of... Like, you kind of have to get a feel for that ball part, I feel. Like, that back click right there, I feel like you have to get a feel for it. It's very hard to, like, you know, actually sight read it, since it's very fast and it changes speed very suddenly as well. So, I recommend practicing this a bit as well, because I definitely died here quite a lot while practicing this. Buffer, straight fly. So for the straight fly, I recommend dipping down a tiny bit, then straight flying as you normally would. This wait a tiny bit, and then this isn't too difficult as well. So the wave, wait and spam. You can go up here. Then what I recommend doing is going as soon as possible on the wave part. So we kind of do it like that. Then, looks like you want to time this, hold it until you reach the portal. Then you want to tap. You want to tap at the portal, because if I continue holding it, I find it very hard to time. And sometimes you can hold it for too long, or you can hold it for too short of an amount of time. So I recommend just tapping very hard, and that should be very consistent. Tap, then flying as you normally would. There's also a bit of platform there, as you can see. There's like a slope there, so you don't. So as soon as you get to this part, you can pretty much just let go. So do something like that. Just hold it. Yeah, just hold it, because you can't like go to this part or anything, because there's a platform there. Wave part isn't too difficult. And this part I recommend. That part right there I recommend spamming. If you try and do it like 2 times, I'll show you that. Well, I mean, just do whatever you want to, I guess. You can do it 2 times, however, in my experience, I found it, but doing it like, yeah, so doing it 2 or 3 times, in my experience, I found it did that. That's not something you really want to happen, so I recommend kind of just spamming it, I guess. Not spamming it, just doing something like that, I feel. is very consistent. 1, 2, 1, 2. This isn't too difficult. Realistically, I shouldn't die here. This is just a matter of learning when to click and when to hold. And realistically, I shouldn't die here, but obviously it is the end of a level, so if I do end up dying here, it will be due to nerves. And also this part, so you can just fall off and do this. However, what I recommend doing is holding it and jumping at the slope. And that will make it, in my personal opinion, I find that to be a lot more consistent. So yeah, that's my tips and tricks for this level. But yeah, this level is very skill based, I will say that. So still, if you're trying to go for this level, I recommend you practicing this level a lot, because it is very skill based. But yeah, hopefully my tips and tricks did help you guys, at least to a certain extent. Why am I going in practice? So yeah, let's see how far I can get today, I guess. Okay, well, first time to drop. That wave is really hard, so I don't mind dying there too much. Oh, come on. That's so annoying. I literally let go as soon as I hit the wall. But you know what, once I get consistent at the pre-drop, I'll probably be able to beat this level very soon. Oh my god, I'm actually crawling. I got 36, 38, now 39. Oh my god. Oh, what am I doing? What on earth am I doing? That is not what you're supposed to do. Bro! Ah! So, 35 to 100. Okay. I was dying to the wave a lot, so I decided to go and practice it, and I randomly got 35 to 100. So I think that should be enough proof that once I can get consistently to a drop, I should be able to beat this level relatively quickly, actually. Oh my god, that is, I believe, the exact same place I died to when I got my last 44. Oh no. $51. Okay. Yeah, I kind of knew I was gonna die there, but you know what? I'm really happy with that. All I wanted was a new record today, so I'm very happy. The hard part about the straight fly is actually like setting yourself up, because like the level sets you up very weirdly, so you're like a tiny bit higher than you would normally be when you would straight fly. So the hardest part about a straight fly is actually just the transition into it. Oh my god, that's so dumb. Ah, that's a dumb death. I really should not have died there. You know what I just realized? I forgot to turn on widest. If you don't know what that is, that's like a tracking thing for my percentages or where I die at. I forgot to turn it on. Whatever, I didn't even get that far. Okay, I'll see you guys when I do my next session again. Oh my god! Oh, that's not a good death. Whatever. Oh my god! Oh no, that's... Oh, that's like one of the easiest way parts. I should not have died there. How? How did I do that? Oh my god, how did I do that? What on earth? Bro, how did I manage to do that? I'm actually so shocked. I did not expect to beat it. The second day of me trying this in normal. That is a really fun level. It is super consistent, and it's also really good at getting you better at the game. I cannot believe I beat that so quickly. That is an amazing level to get better at the game, or to improve at the game, because this isn't like an easy Insane Demon. This is a tiny bit harder than like 8-0 or Poltergeist or like Windy Landscape. So this is a perfect Insane Demon after you've done like some easier Insane Demons. So yeah, my next level is going to be Acropolis. I was not expecting to beat Firewall that quickly. So I'm still in the middle of practicing this. I have gotten 33 to 102 times. However, the beginning of this level is super difficult. So I'll probably start playing this level a couple days later. Yeah, I'm so surprised I beat Firewall today. Anyways, I'll see you guys when I start beating Acropolis. So today I am finally going to start Acropolis. I was supposed to start this yesterday, however I wasn't very confident in it, so I practiced for another day, and I have a 15 to 100 run already. So I don't know, I might have over practiced this, but yeah, I have 57% in normal mode and a 15 to 100 run. So the thing about this level is that the beginning of this level is very difficult, and it is much harder than like the last 40% of this level. Like even the last 60% of this level. Like most of the difficulty is in the first 30%. So it's gonna be very interesting. This level is probably gonna take me a lot of attempts due to the beginning being very difficult. But yeah, let's just go and practice, and I'll show you some tips and tricks. So for the first jump, I recommend jumping a bit later than you normally would. So you can jump like that. However, I recommend doing something like this and jumping a bit later than you normally would. And for some reason, I just find that more consistent. I don't know why. And do that late. This whole entire thing just comes down to muscle memory and a lot of practice. And now we have the infamous corridor. A lot of people find this very difficult. I also find this kind of difficult. So it's very muscle memory based, and it took me quite a while to fully learn this. But what I recommend doing is basically jumping when you're at the edge of the top of the block, I guess. I don't know, it's a bit hard to explain, I feel. So do something like that. I don't know how to exactly explain it, but once you hit like ending of the top block, I guess, I'm not too sure how to explain that. Once you hit that, you want to jump. So something like that. And also a hold of this orb. I don't know how that works, but if I hold this orb, it just makes the next jump for some reason. I don't know how that works. So I hit this blue orb a tiny bit late, and I hold it. Hold. And this is just a couple timings. So That yellow orb you have to hit surprisingly late as well. So you can't just like hit it in the middle. You have to hit this very late. It's a lot later than you would think, honestly. And then and this part you want to jump a tiny bit after you pass this pillar here. And now we get to drop, I guess. I'm not too sure if you would consider this a drop or not. But this is a fairly difficult part of the level. So what I recommend doing so if you jump late, and then this one you want to press immediately. I find it very consistent to just, as soon as you transform into a ball, you want to press it immediately. And you want to time those 2 clicks. Then click that late. Doesn't really matter how late you click that. As long as you click it late, you will survive. And this is probably the most difficult click of the ball. However, it does become very consistent with muscle memory. And this part as well. So this part in particular, you want to go 1, 2, wait, and then 1, 2. So you can click the 1, 2 like pretty much instantly as well. You don't have to time it very much. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. Something like that. Then this ship part is very skill based. I personally think that this is the hardest, I guess, skill based part of this level. And probably the hardest part of the level. Just due to the fact that it's 24% into the level, as opposed to the first cube literally being, well, the beginning of the level. So, I'm probably going to die here quite a decent amount, because I do find this very difficult. And I don't really have any tips here. It is just very skill based, so just practice this a lot. That's all I can really say about it. Also, that yellow orb you want to click late as well. Then once you transform into normal gravity, you want to wait a tiny bit as well. So this part, the interesting thing about this is it's very tempting to just go very, very late. However, you do not want to go late here. You do want to go late, but you don't want to go too late. So as you can see, I went really late there, and I died to this part right here. So it's very interesting. There's a lot of little timings that you wouldn't really think exist, but they do. And it makes it a lot harder than it looks, honestly. So this one you want, so first click here, you want to jump whenever you pass this ball right here. So whenever you pass this ball, you want to jump immediately. But that one, same thing here. Once you pass the ball, one jump. Then invisible spike sphere. Jump. So yeah, there's a lot of timings that you wouldn't really think exist, that they do. So just learn the timings here. It's very important to practice this. And also you can do this, or you can do that as well. I find doing that, I find using the pink pad is a lot more consistent. So do whatever you think is more consistent there. Then you want to wait on this block right here, and then after that you can hold. Hold, as you can see, very easy. Want to hit late, and then you want to wait for it to set, for the mini ship to be like in your vision, and you can actually see it. Also, don't want to click too hard, obviously. Then hold, wait. So this part right here, you don't want to like let go very late. You want to let go just a tiny bit before the first pillar here. Like just a tiny bit before this pillar here. Let go. And then this UFO portal, there's a tiny part here where you can actually land, and this will give you a very consistent transition into the UFO. So you can make it if you like, yeah, if you do that. I didn't use the ledge there, so you can make it. However, I find it more consistent if you do use the ledge. So land on ledge, there we go, and that will make it very consistent. And I also recommend learning how to survive the UFO without using the ledge as well, because you can survive. However, obviously, if you're very used to landing on the ledge, then it's going to be a tiny bit difficult to do. So this is a tiny bit of like reactive gameplay, I feel. And obviously this is very far into level, so just in case you miss the ledge and you're in the UFO portal now, it's just a very good thing to know how to survive without using the ledge. And this UFO part right here, a lot of people say it's very easy. And yes, and I do agree, it is way easier than the rest of the level. However, this UFO is a lot more difficult than I feel like most people give it credit for. I don't know, it's just really weird for some reason. So this part in particular right here, you want to wait until like almost the last possible moment. So you don't want to do it too early because this happens and it's not very consistent if you do stuff like that. I find it more consistent to start spamming somewhere around here, I feel. It's a lot more consistent to start spamming here. I mean, not even spamming, just press like 4 times. So, something like that. A lot of people say this mini UFO isn't that difficult either. I don't know, man. I find it kind of difficult, to be honest. I don't know. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. Ballpark, you just want to hit everything late. This part is all super weird. There's this tiny spike there. So you have to press as the ball into this portal, which is kind of hard. It has killed me multiple times when I was doing runs on this level because you can't hit it too late. Because as you can see, I hit it too late and I transitioned into the cube and then died to the spike. So I don't know, it's really weird. You can also time this click right here with the music as well. It's really weird, honestly. Like, I would recommend going into this level and just really learning the timings. Seeing what you can hit late and what you should hit early. This is fairly easy. Honestly, if I die here, I will actually cry. Then the infamous last wave. Honestly, the wave isn't actually that difficult. It just can be a matter of nerve control. So, yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. Just a matter of nerve control. So the main takeaway for this level is really learn the timings for this level, because there's a lot of timings that you wouldn't really think exists. So that's what I recommend doing. So yeah, I'm gonna go from 0 now, and let's just see how well I can do. Oh, come on, I didn't press it fast enough. Oh my god! Oh no! Oh, that's so annoying, man. Also, I think this level is very flukable as well, because like the ending is not hard at all. So this level is very flukable. So hopefully I fluke the wave at the very least. Honestly, I'd be very sad if I died like 98 or 96 at the wave. Honestly, that'd be so sad. Oh, come on. That is such a dumb death. I mean, to be honest, I was expecting it. That's a very hard click right there. I mean, I'm very happy with my progress, though. I almost got to the wave. To be honest, had I gone past that click, I probably would have gone to the wave. Oh my god! Oh my god! What? 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 I've been playing for 10 minutes. Oh my god. Bro, what? What? Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh my god. Excuse me? Excuse me? I fluked from 66%? And I beat it on the first day of trying? Excuse me? How did I do that? How did I do that? Oh my god. Oh my god. I overpracticed this level way too much. Oh my god. I definitely overpracticed this level. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, let me show you guys my widest. How did I do that? Acropolis. I played less than 1 hour in normal mode. Excuse me? Excuse me? What? What? Oh my god, that's insane. That's actually insane. Oh my god, how am I so cracked? Bro, I didn't even die to the last wave? Oh my god, I was so expecting to die at last wave. And I literally just didn't. What? How? How did I do that? That took less than 5,000 attempts as well. Wow. What? How did I do that? How did I do that? Well then, my next level is going to be Toxin Lab III by Zobros then. Well, as you can see, Acropolis is very consistent. It just takes a lot of time to be consistent, I guess. Okay, well, I'll see you guys when I start beating Toxin Lab III then. So, today I'm going to be doing Toxin Lab III by Zobros. And as you can see, I've beaten all of the other Toxin Lab levels. So, Toxin Lab III is going to be the last level I do in the Toxin Lab series. And also, I think Toxin Lab 4 and Toxin Lab 3 were both promoted to Hard Demon and Insane Demon respectively. And I found Toxin Lab 4 to be a bit too easy for a Hard Demon. So in my personal opinion, Toxin Lab 4 is a medium demon. However, Toxin Lab 3 I think rightfully deserves the Insane Demon rating. But the thing about Toxin Lab 3 is that the gameplay is about mid to high end Hard Demon. However, the memory is very difficult, honestly. It took me about 2 to 3 days to fully learn this level. However, once you learn it, it definitely gets a lot easier. So, I'm gonna hop into practice, and I'm gonna give you guys some tips and tricks. So, this is a memory level, so I'm not gonna tell you guys exactly what to do, but I'll give some tips and tricks for certain parts. Because if I were to explain everything I was doing, then it would take way too long. So, actually, I want to explain what these keys do. So, there is a broken screen and a low detail key. Low detail key is fairly self-explanatory. However, the broken key, what it does is there is a broken screen effect later on in the level, and the broken screen key gets rid of that. However, you can't just get the broken screen key. If you want to take the broken screen key, you have to take the LDM. So I actually have tried taking the broken screen by itself, and it literally does nothing. So you have to get both of them if you want the broken screen key to work. However, you can take the LDM by itself though. Hopefully I didn't explain that in a too confusing of a manner. This is memory, isn't too difficult. Hold. 1 2 1 1 1 1 1 1. So actually, one very interesting thing is this part right here is super weird. You have to switch gravity on this platform and then press the yellow orb, which is super weird. I've never seen something like this in another level, and it really confused me the first time I was actually practicing this. It's really weird, but yeah, this level has some very weird but very interesting gimmicks. So the first 30%, which is the pre-drop, isn't difficult like at all. So here we have the drop. Drop isn't too difficult. Again, it's just memory. So what I recommend doing is waiting a tiny bit here, then pressing 3 times here. So as you can see, I pressed 2 times here, and it didn't really work. I recommend pressing 3 times there. This is just memory. Hold. And there's a blue orb. There's second blue orb, so press that one. And here there is a coin there. As you can see, there's a coin there. So do not press this orb right here. The coin is very easy to get. All you have to do is just do nothing, actually. So it's very easy to get the coin. So press this. Wait. And then hold. And that's all memory. So here's something very interesting is, if you do nothing, the slope, the momentum of the slope, it makes you go all the way down. However, so what you have to do is you have to jump off the slope very early on in order to not gain enough momentum to go really far. Which is really weird, and I've never seen that. I've only ever seen, jumping off the slope to gain more momentum. However, I've never seen jumping off the slope early to not gain momentum. So that is a super weird thing. And it's so cool as well. This is memory. And for this part, I have to press that. Press it. And then once you get this part, I recommend holding it and then until you reach this part. Because for some reason, if you hold it for too long, you may end up jumping off as the cube, like right here, hit this part. So that can happen, so just hold it until you reach this portal. After that, let go. Also, you can't buffer that, by the way. And then have to spam here. Oh, come on. So here, what you gotta do is hold until you reach the other portal, then hold again. Same thing here, you want to hold until you jump here, and then you want to buffer this. Make sure to buffer this orb, because if you don't, you will die here. It doesn't matter how late or how early you click this one, you want to make sure you buffer this orb. If you don't buffer this, you're gonna have a hard time surviving here. And also, opposed to, so this part, you may want to hold until you reach this, then hold again. However, I recommend tapping and then holding this part until you reach this cube portal. So yeah, it looks the same. It looks like you have to do the same thing. However, you don't. If you try holding this orb until you reach here, it will be very difficult for you because it will go, oh my god, well, it will go down really, really fast. And let me try to get back there. So yeah, I'm back here, and you want to hold that until you reach this, then let go. And then you want to wait a tiny bit here and then go up in between these two spike pillars and then go down. But make sure you don't wait too long, obviously. And then buffer, late. Buffer, late. Well, not late. That one's a buffer. And then you want to straight fly. So here I recommend tapping 2 times. If you tap too many times, it'll be inconsistent. If you tap one time, you won't make it here. And in this, you want to do it. This, you want to press the orb kind of not late, but you want to make sure you're very high when you're tapping this orb. 1, 2, and then you can hold that. 1, 2, high. Not too high, just make sure. So let me show you what happens when you're low. As you can see, I was too low there, and I hit that. So you want to make sure you're somewhere in the middle or a bit higher. And also, there's a coin here, apparently. You can't get coins in practice, so I actually don't know. But apparently, there is a coin there. Then buffer. Late. 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 Buffer. 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 Late a tiny bit. This one you want to... You can't buffer this. You just want to wait just a split second. And you should realistically not die here. If I die here, I will actually cry. And free coin at the end. So yeah, I'll be getting all free coins in this level as well, because I don't think the coins are that difficult. So yeah, let's Toxin Lab 3, let's try this out. Also, by the way, I think Toxin Lab 3 has the easiest beginning of the entire Toxin Lab series. And funnily enough, I think the original Toxin Lab has the hardest beginning out of all the Toxin Lab levels, which is really weird and very interesting as well. Whatever. I went up a bit too early. Oh my god, fam. Oh, what did I die to? Oh my god, I buffered both of them. Oh my god. Oh, come on. Oh my god, I keep dying there. That's so annoying. Oh my... Oh my god, I hate this level, man. Come on. There we go. Okay. That didn't take too long, I guess. So, my opinions on this level. This level is very boring to play from zero. The thing about the other Toxin Lab series is... The other Toxin Lab series, they had skill parts that didn't rely on memory, such as the wave spam in Toxin Lab, the original Toxin Lab. Toxin Lab 2 has like a ship part, has some wave parts. Toxin Lab 4 has like 2 hard wave parts as well, and some straight fly. But the thing about Toxin Lab 3 is it has none of those. The only thing is it's just buffering orbs, holding on certain parts, and it's just really boring to play in my personal opinion. But pre-drop is super easy, and I rarely die to it, except for one click, which is like the first hold click. There's like a blue orb in there, which is the hold click, and it's really annoying. This level is just really annoying to play. It's not that bad of a level, and the learning process of it is super fun. However, everything after that, it is so boring to play, and it just really isn't that interesting. Yeah, I still think it's Insane Demon, but like with levels like these, the thing is, like, once you memorize the level, it's all about the gameplay, and the gameplay in this is not interesting at all. So the only really interesting thing about this is just memorizing it, which most people don't like. So I don't know, I didn't have that much fun with it. But on the bright side, I did complete the entirety of the Toxin Lab series. And yeah, the next level I'm doing is Gumshot by Q Mystic. I already have a 48 to 100 run on this, so hopefully I'll be able to beat this very soon. So one thing I want to say is this is a very similar level to Toxin Lab III. It's all about memorization, it has very fast-paced gameplay. However, the difference between this and Toxin Lab III is that it's not boring to play. The pre-drop in Gumshot is hard, it's difficult. So that already makes it a lot more interesting and less boring to play. And the drop is really fast, and it really keeps you on your toes. Even if you've beaten like a list demon, this will still be really fast and really intimidating as well. And even the learning process of this is super intimidating and super difficult to learn. So I don't know, I think Toxin Lab III is a bit boring. I just kind of wish the gameplay was a bit more interesting and wasn't just buffering, holding, and wave spam as well. There's a lot of wave spam in Toxin Lab III, so I don't know. Hope you guys did enjoy. Anyways, I'm going to be doing Gumshot next. Yeah, I'll see you guys when I start doing Gumshot then. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be playing Gumshot. Yeah, Gumshot. A very interesting name indeed. So anyways, I think this level is fairly, I'd say it's about easy to mid insane demon in terms of gameplay. However, it's very learny, and I think that pushes it to maybe mid to hard insane demon, depending on the person. So pre-drop isn't that difficult or anything. And here's an interesting thing, is you can actually land on this block right here. And it doesn't look like it, but you can. So what I originally did was, I would originally do that, and you can do that and you will survive. However, there's a really weird bug. I don't know if it's a bug or not, but sometimes you can just end up accidentally falling through here. So yeah, that's why I land on the block, so the bug doesn't happen. Let me try to show you. Okay, it's just not happening apparently. But yeah, there is a bug, so just be mindful of that. And this is fairly easy, isn't too difficult. Straight fly, buffer, late. So you gotta learn all these timings. So here you want to jump off at the ledge. Then once you reach this portal, jump immediately, and then buffer the orb. Then you want to jump off the ledge, do that late, and then jump immediately. And then here you want to wait off the ledge. If you try to buffer it as soon as you fall off the ledge, it's a bit inconsistent, I find. So I recommend waiting until the last the ledge here. Wait, then buffer. So all these are buffered, and in this you want to, as long as you don't buffer it, you will be fine. So just don't buffer it. Just press it a tiny bit late, and you will be fine. So yeah, you don't want to buffer that, and this is fairly self-explanatory. Then late, buffer, and this is where the drop comes in, and the drop is super learny. The drop isn't actually that hard, but it's super learny, and it took me like 2 to 3 days to fully figure this out and fully get consistent. So you want to press. So I'm not going to explain this too much, similar to Toxin Lab III. I'm not going to explain it too much, but I'm going to give some tips and tricks for this part. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 turn. So that's the click pattern there. Then you want to hit that late, then buffer, late, buffer, 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 late. Then a wave part and the ship part. This you want to buffer everything. So for the dash orb, you want to hold until you reach the orb, basically. So you want to buffer all these orbs, and as for the dash orbs, you want to hold it until you reach these orbs. And the same goes for the other one there. Buffer, buffer, hold, buffer, hold. And then starting from that orb right there. That orb right there, you want, starting from this orb, every orb after this orb, you want to hit in the middle. You don't want to hit too late. You don't want to buffer it. If you buffer it, you will die. So I'll just show you that right now. As you can see, I died to that. There's like a tiny spike there. So you want to hit all these orbs in the middle. Then that's 1 2 1 1 2. And that's. Then for this UFO part, you want to wait until you reach the blue portal, until you want to start spamming it. 1 2. Then this is buffer. 1 2 1 1 2 3 1. And ship part, ball part's really easy, and we have another ship part here, which you realistically shouldn't die at. It's not that hard. So you realistically shouldn't die here. Then that we want to wait a tiny bit and wait a tiny bit on the black orb as well. Then you jump, hold. 1 1 2 3 4 5. So this the UFO part, you want to time it to the music, because sometimes they find that if you spam too early, or you press it too early, or if you press it too late, you'll just die. So you want to time it with the music, and I find that fairly consistent. If you time it with the music, obviously. Yeah, as you can see, you want to wait a tiny bit there. So the interesting thing about this spider is you can pretty much spam here as well. It's really weird. This ending part, the ending part of the spider, you can kind of spam. It's a bit weird, but I usually press 3 times there. I'm not actually sure how you're supposed to do it. I think you're supposed to press 2 times. However, I press 3 times because you can spam there, so. And then those green orbs are buffers. That you want to time with the music. Bum, 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 bum. And this is fairly easy, just don't buffer these orbs. And now here comes a really annoying part of this level. There is a bug here. And I find that just restarting the level gets rid of the bug. But this is supposed to be an auto part, and it's really annoying. So I'm gonna have to restart this. And I was gonna like bug fix this, but I don't really know how to, so yeah, I'll see you guys when I get back there. Yeah, the bug can be fixed just by restarting the level, and 9 times out of 10 the bug will be fixed. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, there's nothing I can really do about it. I think it's a 75 Hz bug actually. Like I tried using like 144 or 60, and it didn't seem to bug out. So I think it might be a 75 Hz thing, which is really unfortunate, honestly, because that is my native refresh rate. But yeah, I'll see you guys when I get back there. Okay, well, it was still bugged when I got here, so I just put it to 60 FPS. So anyways, so this part is a buffer. After you get past this auto part, all you have to do is buffer this, and that's awesome. And the black orb is also buffer as well. And then we have a reasonably difficult skill part. So yeah, hit the fly kind of. So you kind of wait a tiny bit, then you want to press to get over this, and then you want to You can't touch versus slope here, but you can't touch it. So you kind of want to like do something like this, I guess. I don't know. It's really weird. And yeah, so now we get to the ending part. And the thing about the ending is it's kind of difficult. The ending, there's a lot of choke points, there's a lot of clicks that you can very easily die to. So, I don't know. There's a lot of clicks you can die to, basically, in the ending. So this part looks really difficult, the wave part. But I can promise you, this is really consistent. Just, all you gotta do is just press a tiny bit, then wait, then press for a tiny bit, then wait. So this part right here looks really easy. However, there are timings. So this one you want to press a tiny bit late. You don't want to buffer it. Just wait a tiny bit before pressing this. Same thing as this as well. Wait a tiny bit before pressing this. Because I'm going to show you guys what happens when you buffer it. As you can see, you die to that. So you cannot buffer these orbs at all. So it's a lot harder than it looks, actually. And it's very easy to die to, because if you mess up just even by a slight millisecond, you can die very easily. So here what you want to really be careful of is doing that. This is something I did quite a lot when I was originally practicing this, and I was so confused because I was trying to do runs from like 80s and I kept on dying here. So what's happening there is I'm pressing, so what you have to do is you have to hold it, but when you're holding it, you're still a cube. So what's happening is you're a cube, and then I'm jumping as the cube into the spider portal. So I actually end up hitting this wall right here. So you want to press it, then wait a tiny second, 1, and then 1, 2, and then you want to hold this orb. And you want to buffer this orb and hold it. So it's really weird. So, I mean, let me show you with a speed hack, actually. And this is actually how I learned this. So hold 1, 1, 2, hold. This orb right here is the biggest choke point of all time as well. You cannot buffer this orb, and you have to do it kind of in the middle, because otherwise you'll die to like this saw right here. Why did I do that? Oh my god. So as you can see, if I buffer that, okay, well that's not correct. As you can see, I buffered that, and I died to that little part right there. So you cannot buffer that. And keep in mind that this is at 4 times speed. This part normally is at 4 times speed. So it's very interesting. Anyways, by the way, the orange orb and the black orb you can buffer and hold, by the way. So it's only that part right there that you actually have to worry about the timing of. And this is fairly easy. 1, 2, 1. Wait a tiny bit, and then straight fly. And after that, that is the end of the level. So let me show you that in full speed, by the way. So as you can see, it's so easy to die to these little things. It's so easy to die to these little things. So you really gotta be careful of certain things. So anyways, I really hope I don't get the bug. I'm just gonna restart immediately. So if you want to try and beat this level, then I recommend actually going into 0.5 times speed and then learning the level there, and then trying it, and then after you've learned it, try it out in 1 time speed. And that's kind of how I learned some of these parts as well, because it's very hard to know what you're doing, and there's a lot of timings in this level. There's a lot of clicks where you have to buffer, there's a lot of clicks where you have to wait a split second, and it's really weird. So I really recommend going into Mega Hack, or if you don't have Mega Hack, GDHM, and just going into 0.5 times speed and just practicing it using that and try to learn the timings, because the timings in this level are not free. Every orb has its own timings, whether that is a buffer or you have to hit it in the middle or you have to hit it late. So you gotta really learn the timings. And I also recommend you practicing the ending part a lot, because the ending is very chokeable. So you want to practice ending a lot. And to be honest, I probably will die to the ending due to how hard it is, but I don't know, we'll see. Oh my god, I died to the bug. I hit it too late. I can't believe that, man. Oh my god, that's not a good place to die, honestly. Whatever, I got past the bug, so hopefully if I get to 74% this time, it shouldn't, like, bug out. It's so easy to die here, like as I told you guys, it's super easy to die at the end. I'm telling you, it is stupid easy to die at the end, and guess what? I died at the end. I just didn't click fast enough. To be honest, I'm not even that mad, because like this level is very consistent. So you know, I think I should be able to beat it today. I did the thing, didn't I? Oh no. Oh, I did the thing. I jumped as a cube. Ah. Oh my god. There we go. Wasn't that hard, was it? I don't know why I died so many times to the past 90%. Whatever. That's a really good level. It's very consistent. Let's see how many attempts that took. Wow, 4,163 attempts. Let me show you guys my widest then. So 1 hour of playtime. That's a lot, and oh my god. 14 times past 77? Oh my god, that's so much. Anyways, yeah, this is really a consistent level. I didn't even die here like at all, right? So yeah, this is a very consistent level. One thing I don't really like about this level is the fact that the beginning and the ending are very difficult. But obviously the middle part is super easy. It's super consistent as well. And yeah, it's a really fun level. So yeah, the only thing I don't like is the beginning and the ending. But aside from that, I think this is a really good level. It definitely takes a while to learn as well. I assume most of my attempts, most of my 4,000 attempts were probably me learning the level. I'm a bit annoyed I didn't get to finish this yesterday. I definitely should have been able to finish this yesterday. However, I was really tired. I was playing this for like 30 minutes and I was really tired. Maybe it's because of like the flashing lights. Maybe that's why I got really tired. But yeah, I really enjoyed this level. So yeah, I'll see you guys when I start doing Supersonic. So ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be playing Supersonic by Cintiq Alpha. And after practicing this for like a couple days, I can officially say that this level sucks. This level is so inconsistent, it is so buggy, and the ending is just really stupid. So I don't really like this level personally. But I don't know, like some people, like this is considered to be a very easy insane demon. However, it's just not really fun to play. I recommend stuff like Windy Landscape Psychosis over like Supersonic because I just don't think this level is that fun to play. And honestly, this is really difficult. Like this is maybe like a tiny bit easier than 8.0 maybe. But even then, 8.0 is significantly more fun to play than Supersonic. So for that reason, I would actually recommend like 8.0 over Supersonic, even though it is more difficult. Like, I just don't think this level is that fun to play. So let's go from the beginning. So this part's very easy. There's a coin there, so go ahead and get that. This part isn't too difficult. So for the ending here, I recommend two strokes, and that makes it kind of easy. And it gives you a very consistent transition into the UFO. 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 1 2 1 2 1 2, and however many you need to get in there. Fairly self-explanatory. Buffer. So buffer, and then this wait a tiny bit, and then buffer. Then this you kind of want to do it in the middle. Like sometimes if you do it too early, you can go too early on the slope, and the slope will launch you. It's really weird. It also works very differently on higher frame rates as well. I use 75, so I don't know how this would work on like higher frame rates. Late, middle, late, middle. 1 2 1 2. So this part I recommend pressing 4 times. I don't know why, but that's just the most consistent way I found to do this. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. And then get the coin if you want to. Also, I will be getting all the coins in this level as well. This wave part is so annoying. I don't like the wave part. So, actually, I'll tell you something interesting about the wave part. The wave part looks really easy, however, the first part is a bit invisible, which, or it's a bit hard to see, which is fine, but it's a bit just really annoying, honestly. And this part is really stupid because, if you have to wait a tiny bit before you actually transition, otherwise, as you can see, you can die there. And it's really annoying. So you either have to go like really, so you either have to hug this wall right here, or you have to wait a tiny bit before actually pressing on the mini wave. But obviously, since this part goes like this, you can't really see it, so you can't really hug the wall here. So it's just really, it's really weird. This part I recommend not tapping too much. This duel, I don't even know I don't even know how to begin to explain this duel. This duel is the sole reason this level is, it's so annoying. Like this level would be like probably easier than Windy Landscape if it wasn't for this duel. So you transition and you kind of want to press and hold at each orb. It's really weird to explain, so I recommend just going into practice and trying to really figure this out. It's really weird. I'm not too sure how to explain it, but I don't know. It's just really weird. This duel as well, I don't even know how to begin to explain this. G-Boy transition, the infamous transition. I don't know, man. So you gotta go late, buffer, late, buffer, buffer, late, and then buffer. That can sometimes happen for some reason. Sometimes you just won't make it for some reason. It's so weird. And then there's this, the transition, which is infamous for being really annoying and really inconsistent. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to get through that. So then we have this transition, which is just really annoying. So you want to go into portal, and once you get here, you kind of want to hold down until you pass the spike. And then after that, there are two ways you can transition in. You can kind of transition here. You can either touch the ledge, or you cannot, or you can like skip the ledge. So this is reactive gameplay in my personal opinion. So if you don't know where you're gonna land, then I recommend assuming you're going to touch the ledge, because from my experience, 9 times out of 10 you will touch the ledge. And if you go a bit too, you hold it for a bit too long, then you can also try to correct yourself without touching the ledge. So as you can see there, I didn't touch the ledge. So that's without touching ledge. That I don't know what I'm doing. That is touching the ledge right there. So don't smash the bottom there. And also don't hit that or hit that. It just makes it really inconsistent. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. And yeah, once you get past the G-Boy transition, realistically you shouldn't die here. So Vibrance Ball isn't too hard, just go into practice and try to memorize it. So as you can see, Vibrant Ball isn't that difficult. Like, once you learn it, it's really not that difficult. And once you get past G-Boy transition, realistically, you should be able to get to 85%. Now, this part is just so annoying. Like, this part isn't actually that difficult, but it's just really annoying. So, you want to buffer all the orbs you want to hit. So buffer, 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 then you want to hold. Then this part, you want to wait a tiny bit until you enter the portal, then hit it, and then you can buffer the next 2 portals. I don't know how that works, but it does, so I don't know. And this part is really hard. I will almost certainly die here, because it's just so annoying. So how I recommend doing this, also jump early here, jump early there as well. How I recommend doing this is 1, 1, 2, 1, straight fly. So hold into this, well, no, don't hold into it, just press once, and then do a tiny bit of light tap to make enough to get you here. And once you get here, you're going to do another light tap. 1, 1, 1. So you want to do light tap, even lighter tap. Then 1. Then you want to do a kind of hard tap. This part is really easy to mess up on. So yeah, I probably will die here just because of nerves. It's kind of similar to how the clutch step shit works, actually. So you have to fall into the portal, which is why that part is so difficult. And you can't like go into it, you have to fall into it, which is why that part is so difficult in the first place. So yeah, I don't really like this level. Hopefully this level won't take me too long. So yeah, let's just let's start the grind, I guess. Also, a little interesting thing is you can actually hit the green orb but miss the first coin. Which is really funny. Okay, yeah, that can happen as well. Sometimes if you do the blue orbs too early, you can literally just miss this, which is... Yeah, it's part of why this level is so stupid, and part of why I don't like this level. Just really buggy, honestly. Oh my god, are you kidding me? What? Well, not only did I progress fluke, I died to the wave? Honestly, I probably could have fluked it there. I didn't die to G-Boy transition or the duel, which is pretty crazy, honestly. Oh, come on. That's really dumb. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's not even my fault. Did you see what just happened? My ship literally fell. It literally... Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Bro, this is why people don't like this level. Because I did the same thing as last time. And somehow my ship ended up going downward? How did that happen? Oh. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. And of course it's 66.99 as well. Oh, I thought it would land there. As soon as I entered that portal. Oh my god. I mean, to be honest, I was expecting to die there. I mean, oh, it's such a hard part, man. Oh, I could have fluked it as well. Whatever. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. You've got to be joking kidding me. I can't believe that, man. Oh no. I was so confident I had it. Oh, I can't believe that. Oh! You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. How is this happening, man? Oh my god. That's so easy. Come on. What? Are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. You've gotta be kidding me. Let's go! Let's flippin' go, man. Oh my god. Oh, what is going on there? Let's go! Oh my god. 4,679 attempts. Oh my god. Okay, let me show you my widest then. Okay. 3 hours. 3 hour 30 minutes of playtime. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. So everything past here is a door. So 42? I got to 50% 42 times. Oh my god. Oh wait, no, I died 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, never mind. It's not 7. It's sorry, that's wrong. I got to 50% 42 times though. That is absolutely crazy. So, Supersonic. I think this level is actually really enjoyable, minus the ending and the dual and the G-Boy transition. But aside from those 3 things, the level is actually fairly enjoyable. And even though I died quite a lot to the end, for some reason I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. So I don't know, it's a weird level, man, because there's 2 main choke points, which is the G-Boy transition and the ending. But everything other than that is really enjoyable, and I actually had quite a lot of fun playing this. Yeah, I had a lot more fun than I thought I would. So yeah, anyways, that is going to be all the demons I beat this month. So yeah, I'll see you guys next month when I do what's my next demon? It is going to be Crimson Color. So yeah, this is going to be the demon I do next month. So I'll see you guys at the end of next month then. Oh, also like and subscribe. I forgot to say that. Okay, bye.